Hi, Hal here, host of the Big Woods Bucks podcast. We're excited to announce our partnership with the most respected and recognized land company in the Northeast, Christmas and Associates Land Company. Owners Dan and Mark Christmas are two upstate New York natives with deep roots in the Adirondacks and Tug Hill Plateau, as well as two of the most passionate big woods hunters you'll meet. Whether it's newly constructed camp surrounded by state wilderness or family getaway, their team of experienced land guides are the best at matching folks with the perfect land tract at an affordable price. They even provide financing. Christmas Land Guides will provide full land tours using ATVs, snowmobiles, and even snowshoes so that you can scout every acre. Christmas Land and Camp staff also help you construct the camp you've always dreamed of using our in-the-house master builders. For over 35 years, no one in New York State has provided more big buck properties and family hunting camps to hundreds of folks who love the woods than Christmas and Associates Land Company. Dan and Mark and the whole company remain dedicated to wise land conservation and treating everyone they meet like family. Always available 7 days per week, unless there's fresh tracking snow. Call 800-229-7843 or visit Land and Camps on Facebook or go to landandcamps.com. Welcome aboard. Hey, Hal here. I want to talk a little bit about our partnership with OnX Hunt. I've been using it for a while now, and if anybody knows me, they know I'm not a very techie person, but the OnX app is it's a real time saver. I remember the days when we poured over topo maps everywhere we was going to go and stuff, and I don't do that quite as much anymore. Where it's really helped me is scouting, whether it's deer scouting, a moose, or even turkey hunting in the spring, which I do. It really helps out. I don't have to spend as much time running around the truck burning up the gas. I'm just basically using my OnX. Got it on my phone. Don't even carry a GPS anymore. So I just download the areas where I'm going to be hunting, whether it's up north moose hunting, and I use it mostly on the satellite imagery. I like to see the cuts and the clearings and the turkey hunting, the hidden fields and stuff. But everybody's using it now, from the game wardens to land surveyors, and just a great tool. And with our partnership with OnX, if you use a code BWB, you're going to receive 20% off on your first premium or elite memberships. And you just go to onxmaps.com/hunt. You'll be glad you did. Good luck on the trail.
This is the Big Woods Bucks podcast. Come explore the big woods and timber in North America with your host, Maine master guide and deer tracking expert Hal Blood. Listen to Hal and co-host Joe Cruzy as they unlock the secrets to big woods whitetails. Each episode will provide valuable insights into the tried and true system Hal has used for the last 40 years to scout, locate, and hunt mature big woods bucks. Listen and laugh as the crew discusses Hal's legendary adventures and learn how to apply a lifetime's worth of lessons from the big woods to your own hunting and outdoor adventures.
Welcome to the Big Woods Bucks podcast. I'm your host, Hal Blood. Sitting down here at the lodge, first night of the second week with Joe.
Hello.
And guide Bill Cole is with us today.
Hello.
We're going to be talking
New name to the bunch.
New name, yeah. Bill's first year guiding with us, so.
Survived the first week okay,
Yeah,
huh?
We did survive the first week.
Yeah.
No, had a good time.
Yeah, had some good guys with you from Wisconsin, didn't you?
Yeah, they were great guys. They were kind of used to the same type of woods that they're used to hunting, so
Yeah.
they were all OnX and in reach, and so we could really stretch out and cover some ground over the week. So
Was it
Yep.
the 3 guys?
3, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they were real nice guys.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought they were American plan, but
No,
But,
they were
no,
with
no. Yeah.
they were with
Nice.
me. Yep.
Yep. They didn't have enough good to say about you anyways.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, we had a good time. I
Yeah.
appreciate them for sure.
Yeah.
that's good because it's a 3-on-1s can be challenging.
It's tough.
Yeah.
No, it's tough. I said we needed some real estate for the week. I mean, they were willing to put miles on, and so we did. We burn up some ground, but we see bucks. They passed on bucks. They shot at a buck. So
Yeah.
they had a good time, and they'll be back.
Yeah. I heard one of the guys missed a big one, huh?
Yeah. I didn't see it. He said it was a nice buck. It was Friday. We had that weather blow through. The wind picked
Yeah.
right up, and we had that hail, sleet, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
He had caps on his scope, and he just dropped his caps down to cover his scope. And 30 seconds later, that buck was coming up out of the bog, and he right there, 30 yards in front of him, and of course he picked up his rifle, and the scope was covered, so he had to open the caps, and he got to panicking, and he and then when he did get it in the scope, he said it was close enough, and scope was big enough. He said it was just all deer in the scope, but he got a couple shots off. But we spent a couple hours there, and it was a clean mess. But
I don't think he was looking through the scope.
I'm not sure that he was either. But
I always ask him that. I said, "Was you looking through the scope?" Oh yeah. I'm like, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the late in the afternoon when all that weather came in?
oh yes,
Yeah.
late, and I mean it on top of us all of a sudden, wind howling. It got nasty there for a little bit, but
That was it. That was actually the same time I'd taken a walk not far from here and I was going to sit, and a nice buck came out in front of me on the trail. I don't know. I couldn't tell you what it had for a rack. It wasn't. I didn't really focus on that, but the body was just
Yeah.
giant body,
one, yeah.
10 yards in front of me.
Oh,
and,
wow.
But I had enough time to pull my gun up, and it was one of those things where I was getting ready to squeeze the trigger, and he disappeared around the corner. And then
right.
I ran to the corner, and he was on another straightaway on that trail, and same thing, just as getting ready to squeeze, and he disappeared again. But it was 2 minutes later was when that whole storm
That
came through. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
wild watching that come across the mountain.
It was wild. Yeah, I was a little nervous there for a few minutes. I mean, we're up on the hill there, and
Yeah.
it must have been 40, 50 mile an hour wind there, and things were creaking and cracking, and yeah.
Yeah. Me and Rylan were down in the bottom, and the wind, I mean, it come up pretty good, but it wasn't like being up high. But a few years ago, remember we had, I don't know if you wouldn't remember, Bill, but we had them explosions in Canada everybody heard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like 2-3 years ago. And I thought that was happening again. I could hear like that. And I'm like, look at Rylan. I go, what is that? And I said, he goes, maybe it's a train. I go, I don't know what it is. And then it started getting closer. And then that wind came and the sleet and all that crap
Right.
started. We got under it. We were right near a big spruce tree. So let's get under the spruce tree. Then we got under there and we kind of huddled up there under there. And 5 minutes later, it blew away. Then it came in for us from the west. It was like it sounded like a freight train coming.
It
was
did.
just
Yeah.
booming and
Yeah, it did.
coming towards us. And Rylan goes, I think it's something banging on the train. And I go, what? Because you can hear that low pressure. You can hear the trains for miles, you know.
Right.
And then it kind of settled down. It stopped. And then, like 5 minutes later, I don't know if it turned or it was another one, but down to our south, a little bit off, it started again, but it was going away, you know. It was crazy.
It was ominous coming,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was
it
sitting
was
there,
crazy.
and I'm like, what the heck is that coming? You
Yeah.
know?
It's crazy. Yeah.
I was kind of hoping it was stuck to the ground, but no such luck.
No.
Didn't last long enough.
Didn't.
Yeah.
Did have snow the first day. I did anyway. I know it wasn't everywhere, but
Yeah, we had
Monday.
a little bit, just enough to tease you, you know, up high, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, good week.
Good week.
Rob, Chris's nephew, shot a nice buck to start things off.
Yeah, he got the first one on the pole, and then Lee
That was-
Shanzy's guys. Andy got one, and
One of Stevens' guys got one.
One of Stevens' guys got
yeah.
one, yeah. And I think there was only 2 misses this week, which was pretty good. I mean, compared to some other years.
Yeah.
Right.
There was 2 missed because a guy missed one last night. I heard him come in. Dan Drew there. He come in and he had shells in his hand. He was going like I could hear him rattling in between his hands. I go, somebody had some action. He goes, yeah, had action. All right, we didn't do any good. He fired 3-4 times at one there. He said it was in the brush, and like I said, he didn't get one down through it. He said it was a big one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Rob's was low 190s, right?
192 was Rob,
192.
but a beautiful rack on it for the. I think it was a 3-year-old, but a really nice
Yep,
8-point
nice
rack. Yep.
Wide and
Yeah.
good mass
Pretty
on
heavy
it.
for a 3-year-old deer. Yeah. Yeah, it was good. Yeah. So.
For not having snow, pretty
Yeah.
good week.
Well, they were moving good because the season's like a week later than last year. So
Yeah, this week's going to be
just the
pretty
way
good,
the
I think.
calendar rolled, like it started the 4th. The first Monday was the 4th, November, and last year Saturday was the 4th. The end of the first week was the 4th.
Right.
Oh, right.
So it was like pretty much a week's difference. So that's why they were moving more during, pretty much people were seeing them all during the day out roaming around. And
Yeah.
this week should be even better. The rut's going to kick in here the end of the week, and they'll be traveling.
There is some moisture coming this week, right? Not
Yeah.
predicted
Not
snow.
as, they was calling for it, but not really as much now. It's more, I don't know, regular weather till towards the weekend maybe. But I did see one night was snow showers, but I haven't seen any accumulation.
A rain or mix tomorrow or tomorrow night, which just for the moisture is good to,
Yes.
if it doesn't freeze too hard.
Quiet it down. It's
Right.
not supposed
Yeah.
to be. Well, then we've got a few nights going to be down around 20, so it is going to freeze up some. But it's all right.
Good week to sit. You going to go sit someplace all day?
Maybe. Yeah.
What are you doing this week? Are you-
I'll be tooling around with Billy Moles.
Oh, you are good. Okay, I thought you said you were. he
Well,
was
I'm
going off
going
on
to
his
hunt
own.
with him. We're
Yeah.
going to go together and show
Nice.
him the ropes and have a good time.
Yeah.
Right.
He just came in. Bill and I have been here chatting for a while with him.
Yeah.
Nice guy. Makes us to get his take on our neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, great guy.
And then Ryland's going to hunt with his other grandfather a little bit this week because he takes pretty much the season off. Scott does. So
He had an encounter, didn't he, this week?
he had a few encounters. Yeah. He passed up 2 spikes, and then he said, second one, he goes, I don't know how many more more times that can happen. And I let it go, and I go, you got plenty of time. And then yesterday, I told him, I said, we should go back in there. There was a lot of sign in there. We ought to go back and make that same hunt. I said, but it's up to you if you want to go somewhere else. And he goes, oh, I don't know. He goes, I kind of like go different places. And I said, yeah, me too. So I picked him up yesterday morning. I go, we're going back down that same place. And he goes, okay. So we headed back in and started hunting along all that sign. It was just, when you get in all that signposts and rubs and scrapes. And it's like, why would you go take a day to look at something else, really, Especially a day like yesterday. It was, leaves were getting crunchy. I mean, it was a little damp in the morning there, but so I don't know. I think it was about 10 o'clock. We was going along. Oh, we went in. There's a double scrape there, and it's them annual ones. They've been there for years, and it's kind of a little funny spot there. It's kind of open, it's right on the edge where it goes into the softwood mix, on that edge, and then the other side goes out into some rolling hardwood ridges, pretty open, But right there when it gets to the edge, there's a spruce tree there about, 20, 30 feet tall with the limbs, and there's a huge scrape under it, and then 2 more. They're scraping the big one different ways,
Right.
and then there's a couple more smaller ones, and then like 30 feet from it, there's a maple tree, like a swamp maple, and it's got a big limb that comes out and a limb that hangs down, and that's their limb over there. And that scrape's just as big or bigger, scraped every direction. And then another one beside that. It's like two major ones with some little ones by it. I said, I think we ought to sit here a little bit, Rylan. He goes, okay. And we got us a little spot there, and we sat there, and finally he goes, I'm ready. I said, how long we been here? And he goes, 45 minutes. I go, okay. Yeah, I said, I'm ready too. So we continued on, and we got up. It was about 10 o'clock. We just hunting along there, and we were coming up over this little rise there, and it was in that hazelnut brush, and I see him swinging up. I was behind him a few feet, and I look, but I can't see what he can see because it goes up the hill, and I can't see over it. And he puts his hand up. He goes, it had a rack. And he goes, I didn't think it. He said it just jumped easy. Well, so I kind of got up where I could see, but all I could see was hazelnut brush and blowdowns over there, like 25, 30 yards. And I'm trying to look in there, and I can't see nothing. But the way it was headed towards the river. And I said, ease ahead there so we can see down over. I thought maybe it would cross, So eased ahead, and I was grunting. I started just burp grunting, And we'd probably moved ahead like, I don't know, 10, 15 yards, where it tipped the other way. And he's now like 10 feet in front of me. And all of a sudden I see a flash, and that buck he saw come back. It didn't want to go across the river. It wanted to get back around us. Mm-hmm. And it came right by us like 20 yards, but he was down a little lower than me because he'd kind of got over the crest, and he could see the flash through the brush, but he didn't have a shot. And I'm looking like towards him, and then behind him I see horns turn in them blowdowns. I could see horns like flash around, and I could see they were big horns, and I go, another one, and that thing it wasn't even spooked. It just kind of, them long high bounds. It just went bloop, and behind something, and I'm like, I'm thinking it's going to come out, because I went right there, Rylan. So, anyways, it jumped right out of the blowdowns into that brush. And I'm high enough where, I just watched it like 3 or 4 bounds go down over the hill.
No kidding.
I could have dumped it right there. But he's a little lower and shorter, and he could see it every time it would come up. He could just kept seeing it flash. And I could see him, he was aiming. I thought he was going to shoot. I can see his gun swinging with it, and it disappeared, and he never fired. And he goes, I thought I was going to get a shot. He said the next jump or something. He goes, but he said I couldn't get a shot. And I said, well, you got a good memory there.
Yeah, that's right.
It was a big 8-point, a big heavy rack.
It is.
Well, over 200. It was a big one.
Oh, nice.
It is something when you can be so close to someone, but you have such a different vantage point, or one sees it and one doesn't. And it's one of the biggest challenges of guiding is that. Is just having someone in the right spot when it happens. Yeah. It's hard enough to do it by yourself.
Yeah. Well, he was pretty excited about it. So.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. We saw 3, 4. So he saw, we hunted 3 days, and he saw 4 bucks in 3 days.
That's pretty good.
Passed up 2 of them. And then I only went one day myself. He couldn't go Thursday. He wanted to do schoolwork. So I took my gun for a walk and took pictures. I saw 2 bucks that day, spike horn and probably a 2-year-old, like a basket racked one there. But it was a good week.
I saw 4 bucks on Friday.
Yeah.
And one of them was, I could have shot it. I wasn't going to shoot it, but it was a neat rack. In a couple of years, it's going to be cool. It had a kicker coming off.
Oh, yeah.
3, and then a kicker on the right side, like a good kicker, probably 8-9 inches long.
Yeah. Up here?
Nope, this was down by home. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I just did walked around down there, and one of them was, we're trying to film all the time and every time we're walking and stuff. So I just started walking and I clicked on my GoPro and I'm doing my little, talking about what I'm doing. And I mean, I just clicked it on and there was a buck that was standing on the left side of the trail there where I was walking, and I'd swing up on it, and that's one of the problems with that shoulder mount is it doesn't, like when you swing it.
I'm trying to work with that, but yeah.
Anyway,
figured out.
You couldn't see the deer, but just see me come up and I didn't shoot that one. It was a basket rack. It was probably a 2-year-old, but fun day anyway.
Yeah. You saw a good buck this week too, didn't you, Bill?
I did. I see Friday.
Yep.
I see a good buck. Yep.
Good shooter.
It was a shooter. It was a shooter, and I could have.
Yeah.
I could have. But I see 4 buck last week myself.
Yeah. Then there was the other guy, Jim in camp. He almost got a big one. He said it was the biggest buck he ever seen in his life. Huge, high rack,
Right.
He said it was real heavy, and he said he needed like one more split second. He said he could have shot. If I'd shot, it was disappearing. He said I'd have only had the hindquarters, so we didn't shoot. But so there was quite a few big ones seen.
Yeah, a lot of action, really.
As you all know, Big Woods Bucks is devoted to promoting the best equipment for tracking and still hunting the big woods. Part of that equation for success is the sights that sit on your hunting rifle. We've chosen Skinner Sights as the company to produce our custom-built BWB Tracker Series peep sight. It's constructed of solid steel, has our custom ghost ring, and was co-developed by some of the best trackers in the world. To get yours, go to bigwoodsbucks.com and click on the Optics tab.
Pine State Armory in Skowhegan is your ultimate destination for hunting and outdoor gear. Located at 338 Madison Avenue, we're more than just a store, we're family. Nick and Jess and their friendly dogs, Bailey and Ruby, are always ready to greet you. Pine State Armory is a family-friendly store where safety meets expertise. Your kids are always welcome, and if you're new to the sport, we're here to help with gear recommendations and the knowledge and information you need to get started right. Looking to buy, sell, or trade firearms? Whether new or used, we have what you need. And to those who serve our country, we're proud to offer a military discount as a token of our appreciation. Visit us today at Pine State Armory, 338 Madison Avenue, Unit 8 in Skowhegan, and experience the great outdoors like never before.
Hey folks, Rick Labby here from Big Woods Bucks. I'm here today to tell you about our new packs. This is our new small pack, which the first time I saw it, Chris showed it to me and I said, that's the nooner, because that's the perfect pack if I'm getting on a buck track at noon. And it'll hold the sandwich, your water, a little bit of gear. It's virgin wool, made in USA, waterproof resistant, has a liner on the inside. It's a great pack. This pack, this is our newest large pack, which when I used to carry the older pack, I always wore suspenders because it bothered my hips a little bit. So we designed one with shoulder straps, and this is a great pack. It takes the weight off your hips, puts it onto your shoulders. It's got a GPS pouch right here in the top you slide in. Same deal, it's water resistant on the inside, got that liner. It's a perfect pack. So I go to bigwoodsbucks.com, get yours today, and I'll see you on the track.
Hey, Hal here. Just wanted to tell you we're excited about our partnership with Minus 33. Minus 33 specializes in merino wool base layers for outdoor enthusiasts, from tops and bottoms to hats, socks, gloves. And our gear is going to keep you warm and comfortable no matter what adventure you're on, especially those big woods ones. We're a fifth-generation family, owned and operated, a New Hampshire woolen textile manufacturer. They have over 106 years of woolen expertise, and they started manufacturing woolen socks, the Mountain Heritage ones, in New Hampshire in 2018, with the idea that a quality product, affordable pricing, and can be worn and loved from season to season, no matter what your experience level or skill is. So no one should feel uncomfortable or ill-prepared in the outdoor community. Having a reliable gear is one of the first steps towards a lifetime of passion or whatever activity it is. And my caveat to that is you got to wear your woolies. Cotton is death.
Hey, Hal here. Finally got some good news for all you. Our jackets are finally in. It's been a long process, but we got them done and got them right with all our new features and stuff in them. So some of the new features we added was a game pouch in the back you can access from inside with dividers in it. It's just like the original one. Mine's the original one, not the new one. It's got your slash front pocket so you can get in and get at your GPS or whatever you carry in your front ones. They're all lined with, the pockets are lined with Microtech fleece, so it's nice and warm on your hands when you put it in. Microtech's fleece. Got your slash pockets here. Just 100% wool, virgin wool. I think it's 100% virgin wool, but it's 85% wool with some nylon to make it stronger. Tight woven. And the vest, I don't have the vest on it. The vest snaps on, your orange cape comes with it. And we're going to have the green checkered jackets come in 22-ounce wool, and we have plain green, forest green, same color as our pants that are coming, and those are in 18-ounce, a lighter wool, so you can have a 3-season jacket or a 4-season jacket. And the pants will be coming in a couple weeks, and just in time for deer season. So get them ordered up and we'll get them shipped right out to you. Good luck on the trail.
We got someone new joining us.
Yeah. Jamison.
Going on? What's going on, guys?
You tell us. We've been out scouting today or been home?
No, I did a little scouting today. I stayed up, so my wife and kids were busy today, so it's all
too busy for you, huh?
too busy for me. Yeah, had plenty of stuff going on, so I figured I'd go out in the woods and do a little scouting today, and hopefully get on to a good one for this coming week.
Yeah, you see anything?
Yeah, I see 5 more today. 3 does and 2 I couldn't tell what they were, but jumped them up within yards of a signpost. Yeah, they were hanging right there, so. Yeah, it was a big blow. I don't know. Could have been a buck and a doe. I'm not sure what it was.
Yeah. Hal was talking about the big scrape he came across, and I was thinking of yours.
Oh,
the one you were talking about there last night.
Yeah, me and my client were down on this brook in a spot the other day, and we were following a deer trail and there was a bunch of following kind of like a rub line down along this brook, and we come across this scrape. It's the biggest scrape I've ever found in the woods anywhere in Maine. It was I bet it was, I could lay down in it and stick my arms up. So it was damn near 8 feet long by 4 feet wide.
Yeah.
Just a giant scrape.
I was just telling these guys about that. Me and Ryland found one like that. Well, it's 2. They're double ones. I've never seen, and there's one under a spruce, and then 30 feet away, the other one's under a maple. It's got a limb hanging down, and they're both them great big ones that are 6 feet. And then there's some ones like beside it, more like paw and smaller ones, but they're all under the limbs, you know. So they're laying the stuff down.
Yeah. Yep.
I think you hold the record for deer sightings this week with your guy, right?
Yeah, one day we started off early. I think that day we saw, it was hard to say because I think a couple of the deer we see a couple times, like we jump them up and so on, but it was anywhere between 12 and 15 deer that day.
Yeah.
And almost every single one we identified as a doe, so I think there was only 2 deer that we couldn't quite tell what they were. We were creeping up, and they were on the next bench up, and we'd just see them go, but all does.
Probably won't be any bucks there this week.
Oh, I think we're going, I think we're going back to that spot.
I think that's probably a pretty good area to kind of hang around.
Yeah, it's one of you know that area pretty well. I think I think you know there's some bucks in there.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
isn't it, when you get into that many deer and you think one of them's got to be a mature buck, you know,
Oh,
you
yeah.
think, and you just go all
Yeah.
He's
that
not-
long. That's a lot of deer to see in a day up here.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I think that's the most deer I've ever seen for up here
Yeah.
in one day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I knew going into it, there's lots of deer around. I mean, it's nuts, you know.
There-
Even the guys on their own that are new here, just send them to a spot and they go in and see a bunch of deer, you know.
Yeah. I saw one big one tagged in town that was over 240. Is there more than that this week?
Well, they tagged another one that was like that, but it wasn't shot here. It was shot up in Zone 4 adaptive hunt. They were cow moose hunting.
Oh, okay.
It was standing by the road, and they shot. It was like 240, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. We told the biologists that when they was going to have that hunt drift into November, they're going to shoot every deer they see from the road, every spike horn or whatever, then people are going to shoot, you know.
Right.
So, anyway, yeah, they got a good one from the road.
Did you hear it? Pete rattled one in for Missy?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. I think it was 205.
Yeah.
Nice rack. He had it all on video and everything. I haven't talked to him. He just texted me, but that
Yeah.
sounded pretty cool. They were up. I don't know if they were up cow hunt at the time, or I know he'd been up there on a cow hunt, but I think they were up north but yeah, and that was early in the week.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Saturday. It might even been President's Day they did that.
Yeah. That should work good. I always figured the second week, because, again, this season was a little later, but it's a good method. You know, you got them calm, front frosty mornings there. Instead of clomping along, just rattle or something like, because they'll hear that I bet they
Oh,
can
it
hear
carries.
that for a mile in the quiet
Oh,
morning.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have many quiet mornings this week. It seemed like it was windy every single day
Yeah.
this week, but
It
this
was-
coming week,
But it was good slipping around weather because you had some good, you know, noise cover and movement cover and stuff.
yeah, we walked right up on a lot of deer that
Yeah.
didn't hear us. You know, good sneak-in weather.
Yeah. My guy that was in the remote camp come out this morning. He ended up, he couldn't get nobody to come with him. His son and his brother were supposed to come, and then they backed out of it. So he hunted by himself in there all week. He saw he saw 8 deer one day. Never been there before in his life. You know, I just
He was all alone up there?
yeah, I took him around Saturday, and I kind of showed him, you know, the roads and all of that, and got him settled into camp. And I went back in on, I don't know, Thursday, I guess, or something, and checked on him. I gave him my InReach thing, but there's a place up there with cell phones. One place you can get cell phone. But anyway, he come out this morning, and yesterday morning he saw a buck finally. He saw does every day, and he saw a pretty nice buck. Actually, he was headed out from camp, daylight, and it crossed the road, so he tried to get ahead of it where it was going, and the only thing, he saw a doe there, but he didn't get it. But he had a real cool, he went up somewhere, and I don't know if that's where he was sitting, but he's on his phone, he videoed this doe. You could see a deer coming, and finally see it was a doe. He started his phone, and that doe kept zigzagging his way up the ridge towards him and came right. He was kind of sitting in behind a little sprucey there. You can see the spruce limbs, and it walked up 3 or 4 feet from him. It looked at him too a couple times. It looked at him and munched, ate some ferns, and looked around, and then it was going by him, so he turned his hand to turn the camera, his phone, and it jumped, but it never ran. It jumped, and it looked at him again, and then it was just curious like. It was the craziest thing. And then it kind of got nervous after a bit, and it tucked its tail and just kind of snuck down there, but it never ran.
Wow.
Yeah. I said, well, you had a live decoy for a few minutes there anyway.
So he's out of there now. You got another group coming in this week?
Yeah, they're already in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come in about noon.
More than one person, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
This week?
Yeah. So the guy that was last week, these guys that came this week, they switched. They told me if there was ever an opening later, they'd like to switch. So I switched them to the second week. And this other guy's he's new in there, but he hunted with us way back when Mike Featherstone was guiding.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, killed a couple bucks with
So
Mike
he was
over
hunting out in
there.
that area back then, too.
Yeah, but the other side,
Yeah, right.
It was a whole different territory. Because nobody'd ever been over where that is. But So, yeah. I mean, he's hunted enough to know the big woods and how to hunt it
Right.
and stuff, Yeah. Yeah. So the guys come in and they're headed in and see what they can do this week. I'm sure they'll get something.
Should be a good week.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Cabin 2 came in. He's an older fellow that comes every year. He's been coming for years up here.
Yeah.
And he sets a blind up. He goes out today, and he's got his spot. He sets his blind and has got a bunch of sign around. And I said, you'll kill something this week.
Yeah.
He's down. He's down a little bit south of here, and
Yeah.
I know that the guys were down kind of in that general area this week, and Lee's guys, one of Lee's clients shot one, and
Yeah.
Stevens too, and then someone else in the area of where Steven was got a nice one in there, so that
Thinned them out
area's
a little.
producing.
Thinned them out a little.
Yep.
Still plenty, I'm sure.
Oh, there's loads of deer.
I saw Rob Wing stopped in today because he stays up. He rents a house for the whole month in town, and he went out and checked his trail cameras. He's got a few he puts out, and he said he's got one. I think he told me he had, I don't know, 7 or 8 bucks on it or something. He sent me a picture of one that was, I don't know if it's the same camera, but a real big one. I can see he's 225 or better. Pretty stout rack on it, right on the signpost. You can see he's bearing right into it, See his muscles sticking out.
My buddy Jeremy down in southern Maine he's had his cameras out for, I think, probably 3 weeks or so now, and he's been sending me active videos of this activity. I mean, the big bucks have been scraping and going for.
Yeah, but it's a week ahead down there.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's a week earlier.
But I mean, it is something how some nights they just, whatever it is triggering them and driving them.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything lights up that night.
Yeah.
And then it just goes quiet just as quick.
Yeah. Yeah, the guys down there always saying, the bucks are chasing the does, and usually early it's them 2-year-old bucks. I think they're getting some action, so they chase them does around. Don't mean it's a rut, it's just they ain't understand yet when it really is, They ain't passed the smell test. They don't know it.
But you do see also, I mean, one of the things that social media brings is you see all these, I mean, there's some big bucks killed last week.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You'll read their stories. Yeah, it was chasing a doe. So it's not like it doesn't happen. It's just, I think, the majority.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure they started chasing them, the big ones down southern Maine last week, because again, we're a week later. So if it always starts about the 15th here, so it's probably, say, the 7th in southern Maine. Well, that was like Wednesday last week. So,
Right.
yeah, it's on down there.
Anything happen this week at all? Pretty good week, wasn't it?
Yeah. Am I forgetting?
For our country?
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, it was.
I think that's had everyone in a good mood.
Yeah. Yeah. Things went the way some people wanted, and some people didn't go the way they wanted.
Things went the way most people wanted.
Yeah. Well, obviously, the majority. Yeah. And again, most people still don't understand they keep talking about we're a democracy, and we're not a democracy, Democracy means 51 people can tell the other 49 what they got to do. We don't have that system. We have a
constitutional republic.
Yeah, or a representative republic, same thing, but that's why we have the electoral college and all that, and some people hate it for that because they think, but our founding fathers were smart enough to understand, because they had democracies in Europe at the time. Most of them were monarchies, but then they had some that weren't. But the majority rule wasn't really the way, because all the power concentrated in the cities' populations.
Rural folks had no voice.
That's right. And they wanted to prevent that, so they set up a pretty unique system for us. So, yep. Checks and balances, it goes back and forth. So
Pendulum swings.
Yeah, pendulum swings. Swings left and it swings right.
That's right.
So, yeah. So,
But
we'll see what happens.
So how many hunters coming in this week?
I think Liz said 17. I don't have my paper. My printer didn't work. So
Did you forget your paperwork again?
No, I couldn't print it out, and then I meant to snap a photo of it on the computer. I had it up, and I went to print. I said, I reset the printer. I turned it on because the last time I went, it said the printer's offline, and it does it quite often, but then usually it'll all of a sudden it'll print everything out at once that you tried to print. So I turned it back on, and I tried it again, and still nothing printed. Well, I was in a hurry because I knew I was running late, so I didn't take a picture of my paperwork, so I don't have anything to check anybody in by, so I'm going to have to drive back
Everyone's
home.
out of luck. Everyone leave.
Yeah.
Come back tomorrow.
No, I'll run up the house real quick and check. While I'm up there, I got my briskets. They're almost done, so they got to go off at 5.
It's well known I'm not a fan of cold meatloaf, but man, Saturday night's hot meatloaf was
That was good.
That
on
is
point.
good,
Yeah.
I think that brisket last week was my favorite meal, though. That brisket was
that was
Yeah.
great.
that was probably the best one.
Yeah.
I got that down to a science.
Well,
pretty
that
good.
was pretty good.
Well,
Yep.
Deb makes the rub. She don't buy it anymore. She makes her own. She made like 2-gallon Ziplocs of it for the season, and I don't know what's in it. It's just ingredients, powders, whatever. It's brown. I know that. It smells good.
Tastes good.
Yeah.
A lot of familiar faces back too. Is there any new guys this week? I've been seeing them pop in while we're talking, and
Yeah, there's always some new guys, but
yeah.
I can't tell you. I don't have my paper. You
Yeah,
think I'm
right.
going to remember all the names?
That's not.
Yes, but there is every week. There's a lot of regulars, But
Yeah.
we'll get them.
It is getting. What is it? Erica said earlier. This is year 6 that we've been doing this.
Doesn't even seem possible.
I know.
Yeah. Doesn't seem possible. Yeah, and there's guys that have been every year since we started.
That flies around, doesn't it?
I can't
Like it
believe
just-
how fast time goes. Yep.
Yep.
We're already week 2 of deer season. It'll be over before we know it.
Yeah, it is. And then we're going to say, can't wait till next year,
Yep.
right? Yeah. Yeah. All right, we got to tell these people a few tips for this week, huh? What's your hot tip for this week, Jamison?
My hot tip, well, if we don't have snow, I'd say depends on the weather. But if it's gonna be real calm and quiet, I'd hang in and find some buck sign or hunt around the does too, because they're gonna start. They're gonna seek the does this week, so I'd be near some doe pockets and hunt the best buck sign you can
That's
find,
it.
and just try to hang tight. But if it's rainy and windy, just sneaking around those areas. Put your time in.
I put the wind in my face, and I actually did something. I did this. I've been slowing down a little bit because I like to
I have to
probably
tell
move a
myself.
little fast, and I really focused on it this week. Was just really going easy, and hey, you got all day, right? So if you're out there, there's no reason to hurry to the next spot. So I knew I had deer around me, so I'd stand in a spot for 10 minutes.
Yep.
And just go a little bit, grunt a little bit. We talk about it a lot. The grunt tube is
That's why I won't leave
It's
the
just-
house
nope.
without it.
No,
as important as your gun almost. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
got to have it.
It is a great tool.
Well, that big one when we see the other one yesterday, and then, but even before I knew there was a big one there, I was grunting, like burping, grunting. But that big one, when he took off, he was so close I could see his mouth going. He was grunting back at me when he was taking. Like I said, he wasn't spooked. He wasn't like shitting and getting. He was just bounding down off the hill. Maybe I sounded like a bigger buck. I don't know.
Braden had an encounter last Saturday, opening day, and he was in a tree. He was in one of those slings, saddles, and
Oh yeah, one of the young guy things. Yeah.
and he knew there was a buck there, and he could see him, and he grunted at him, and he said that thing did the buck roar at him. He's
Yeah.
like, "You ever hear that?" And I said, "I haven't heard it in person with a buck." but
Right.
I've seen it." And he said it was unbelievable. That thing was so fired up. And he said,
Yeah.
said it made his hair stand up, and
Yeah. That's funny. It's good seeing that stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, I
good
love hearing that.
experiences.
Nothing gets your blood boiling more than you hear that buck grunt.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Then I just got thinking, we're talking about what's your tip for this week, and the time they listen to this week's gone.
It's all over.
Same thing third week, unless we have snow.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a time in the season where grunting doesn't
No.
work.
No. Grunting's a good tip. And
Yep.
But I did notice rattling usually kind of slows up. You know, at the first and second week is when it seems to work the best. And then
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but
I think late season they don't want to fight anymore. They're kind of tired out. They'll fight if they have to, but
yeah.
earlier in the season they got more.
They got other F's on their
gumption.
mind.
Yeah.
I think earlier they're trying to challenge somebody that's in their territory or
Right.
something, and usually by the end of the season they got that pretty well straightened out. Until you get them bucks that come out of their territory,
Yep.
that's when you see the big fight scenes in the woods. Something's come in from
away. Yeah.
5 miles away and challenges the one that's dominant there or something. But yeah,
Yeah, it should be a good week for rattling. Second week.
got any hot tips, Bill?
I don't think I have any hot tips, but just stay at it. Work hard and stay at it, however you're doing it. And as you always say, it's 2 points connecting. And
Yeah. And
I will say I had this past week, there was one day that it was a really hot day that we had.
Yeah.
And I think there was some guys that stayed back that didn't go out that day. And I mean, I think there was a deer in our group that got killed that day, and there was some other ones killed. I mean, you got to be out there to kill them.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care how hot it is, unless you have a lot of time and you don't have to get after it. But if you got a week or whatever it is, don't not go because it's hot out. The deer are still out there.
Yeah, at least get out there and sit somewhere. It ain't much fun walking around when it's hot like that,
Nope.
getting all sweaty. But get out there when it's hot. At least it's easier to sit. You ain't gonna get cold. You
That's
can
right.
kick back and take a snooze once in a while. Get your old man nap or something. And, you got to be in the woods. That's the only thing I've always stressed that. It's you get in the woods at daylight, take your sandwich, and you get out at dark and you hunt all day, and something's probably going to happen in a week of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even if you're not seeing deer when it's hot out, of course you have a chance of seeing the deer, but you're seeing ground, you're scouting.
Scouting, right?
That helps. Like it might be the difference getting on the day it is good conditions. You find that hot area. So
the other tip I have is too many people rely on their one spot. They've got their favorite spot, so they don't go find new ones. You know what I mean? They keep, and then one year that could be cut or be gone or whatever, or 10 other hunters show up or whatever it is. So you can take either warm days or maybe it's just a day that's sunny and crunchy leaves or something. Those are the days to just go cover some ground and scout out for some new places and, have 3 or 4 places. Then you'll have 5 or 6, 7 or 8, 10, eventually you can, if you got a lot of places to pick from,
Then you get to a point where you're thinking through where you want to go the next day. You can't decide because you got 2 or 3 good spaces.
Yeah.
It's a good place to be, but it does happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like I say, I don't know where I'm going. Say, where you going tomorrow? I say, I don't know. I pull out my driveway and am I going left or right? Or I don't. I just something, I don't know. Things are rolling around in my pea brain and something spits out and I'll go there. Yeah. Because if there's deer in all the places you go, it really don't matter.
Right.
It's just kind of like a coin toss of you're in the right place at the right time on the right day and you might see one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So, well, we'll get the guys checked in.
Yep.
Get ready to stretch our stomachs out with some of them baby back ribs. Don't forget them, Jamison.
No, those are good too. Those are right up there. There's no bad meal.
You must be good for a full rack.
Oh, I probably could eat a full rack.
Yeah, we're not going to go hungry anyway.
No.
Yeah.
Another fun-filled week coming up.
Yeah.
Excited.
All right. Well, make sure you support our sponsors and subscribe if you haven't. Ding the bell for notifications and whatever else. What else, Joe?
Good luck on the trail.
Yeah, good luck on the trail.
Good luck.
Send us pictures.
Hey guys, Joe here. Wanted to take a few minutes to talk about Lake Parlin Lodge. We're a 4-season lodge located just south of Jackman. We've got cabins, lodge rooms, mini lodge. We're a big snowmobile destination in the winter, full restaurant, bar, all the amenities that you need for your trip. Open all obviously through the summer, right on the lake. Kayaks, canoes, all included with the cabin. We also do a lot of weddings, so if you're looking for a destination wedding, we can do a wedding up to 200 people. And of course, we've got our hunting season, moose season, deer season. So check us out. We're at lakeparlinlodge.com.
Hi everyone, team member Mark Sheeran here. Are you or someone you know struggling with a drug or alcohol problem, but you don't want to go to rehab or 12-step meetings? Well, that's exactly why we created our non-12-step Freedom Model Coaching Program. In our program, you can be coached by me and Michelle Dunbar through our in-house 2-day addiction solution workshop, or if you want to stay home, you can be coached through video conferencing on Zoom. Both options are powerful and proven effective. We've personally coached more than 27,000 people over the last 34 years. With the Freedom Model, you won't have any record of being treated for an addiction either. This is a huge benefit for those with professional licenses, or who are high profile, or simply who have a lot to lose with such a damaging label. If you're ready to change your life and solve your addiction for good, call me directly at 888-424-2626 and set up your free 30-minute coaching session today. I look forward to helping you. And here's that number again, 888-424-2626. Take care.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Till next time, good luck on the trail.